Hi everybody, my name is Ellie and welcome to my YouTube channel. And this entire YouTube channel is about me talking about divine truth and what it really means to walk the path of true awakening. And why do I say true awakening? Because there is such a lack of education and lack of understanding of what it means to truly awaken. And when I first initially had my first spiritual awakening, when I started doing the inner work on myself and I opened the door to everything beyond this superficial, surface level, brainwashed, programmed, zombie-like state. I started realizing that there was so much more that I had never been taught beyond who and what I really was, right? I cycled in so much depression, constant anxiety. What is the meaning of all of this? Why am I here and how the hell do I get out? You know, that for a lot of empathic and highly sensitive beings, when you come to this prison planet, this hellhole, this is hell. The patriarchy, the old earth, the inverted world, the upside down world, the third dimension, the lowest level of consciousness that we have all been so awesomely born and raised in. When you're born on this planet and you come in as a soul that's very empathic, that's a highly sensitive person, this is a very hard place to be. We come here and we don't function like the people, and we don't understand why people are the way that they are. But that's why we are meant to become the leaders of New Earth, because we go on an incredible journey that is extremely challenging to find our power through this hellhole and understand that our sensitivities and our empathic gifts are what makes us superhuman and what makes us the new leaders of New Earth. But we must go on the journey of coming into that power. So when I first walked into spirituality, I was really naive. And I thought that everybody in the spiritual world had all the answers, because if they were happy and I was so unhappy, clearly they must have access to things that I have not accessed yet. So when I walked into the world of spirituality, I didn't know anybody. And so my naivety, I had to come into the world of spirituality like that because there were many lessons that I had to learn. And so everybody I met, I thought that they were elevated, they were really awakening. I thought that they were so much higher in vibration than me. I thought that they had all the answers. I thought they were wonderful, good people who were really healed. And quickly, through every experience I had for 3 years, I realized, oh no, 99.9% of these people that I've been meeting at these retreats, right, these big spiritual influencer retreats, are not actually doing the work on themselves. So you hear a lot of all of these people, positive vibes only, like anything negative, like do away with them, like just be in gratitude, just be in peace, like namaste, wear this garb and say these words and walk around like this and talk in a whisper sometimes and breathe like this. I thought that that was all what it meant to be a truly awakened spiritual being. And it's not. Okay, so I had to learn that. I also had to learn that just because you're psychic, just because you came into this life with many gifts, it doesn't fucking matter. Because if you're not actually awakening for real, if you're not elevating, if you're not diving into the darkness and alchemizing and transforming and rising up for real and connecting to your divinity and connecting to your heart for real, all you're doing is giving what you are to every single being. Just because you wear a certain spiritual outfit doesn't mean you're awakening. Just because you do ayahuasca every month doesn't mean you're awakening. A person that's truly on the path of awakening is, I see truly where my consciousness has been at all of my life. It's really low. I see that I have been brought up in the patriarchal hell. That is the old earth. I see that I have a ton of unprocessed trauma, inner child wounds, and energetic programs that I've created as a result of being raised by unenlightened people and unenlightened society and in an enslaved prison planet. And I choose to transform and elevate out of that by seeing every single aspect of my shadow self that needs my unconditional love, that needs me, my divinity. That is what it means to truly awaken. And if you're not really doing the real work on yourself, you're just as asleep and unconscious as someone who's never dipped a toe into the world of spirituality. It's the same frequency. It just looks different. So I had to learn this, okay? And it was a very humbling experience. I also saw so much of myself that needed immense amount of healing, but I didn't know how to heal myself. I tried all the things. You can fill your mind up with as much knowledge as you want. But when I started learning from a true spiritual teacher, a true being who is elevating, it was constantly becoming. I'll never forget the first time she taught this, that knowledge doesn't mean shit. That's all in your mind. How much you know feeds the ego. And you'll see a lot of false spiritual gurus and teachers and leaders, mostly men, who just filled all of this stuff with knowledge. And then they make a shit ton of money about it because they can spew some shit that makes a person who is broken and desperate, that is looking for answers, makes them feel good. But knowledge doesn't mean shit if that knowledge is not integrated and it becomes wisdom. And I was like, ooh, drop a mic on that one. And so about 3 years into taking these courses and reading these books and I knew that I was still majorly fucked up. So I was like, okay, so what I've been doing is cute, but I'm not elevating for real. And I was humble enough to know that. And so one day I said this to the universe and to my divine team: for my highest path, please guide me to the teacher that is going to actually teach me how to heal for real. Because I can't keep going on like this. I was still in immense amount of suffering. And I went about my life. And 3 months later, I was triggered by this experience. And I just decided to listen to a podcast. This podcast came up and it said mental and emotional programming. And I was like, no idea what that means, but I will listen to it. And I listened to this podcast episode. And the moment that I heard this woman speak, I could hear my soul screaming in a way where you couldn't deny that this was a calling. Go, do this. This is the next chapter. Jump. And I found my teacher, Rachel Fiore, online. She had a university, a metaphysical school called Masters of Self University. I didn't know anything, but I knew that she had everything I needed to learn how to really heal myself, how to elevate, how to become. The day that I entered that class, my life has never been the same since. It has been 4 years now that I have been learning, growing, elevating, diving deep into the darkness, but connected to my divinity when I do. And anyone that's truly on the path of awakening, that's not faking it, that's really walking this path for real, they'll say this to you: this is painful as shit. When we've been brought up in a world where we have been taught to never feel pain but to run away from it. Your power lies in honoring and feeling your pain. It does. And learning how to alchemize the pain. It is the most painful, at times so challenging, brutal, but the most magical, mystical, powerful. The journey you want to be on. Because this lifetime ain't no fucking joke. This lifetime is what I like to call the greatest lifetime. This incarnation is the biggest. Why? Because many souls volunteer to come into this incarnation, this one, to awaken for real and to come back to oneness, to the truth of who and what they are. And they have to go on a valiant warrior's journey to awaken and become a being of oneness on this prison planet. Because we are here to create new earth. And new earth isn't a physical place you go to. New earth is a vibrational frequency. It is a place of oneness. It is a place of harmony. It is a place of equality. It is a place of honoring. And when we truly come back to what and who we all are, and we keep vibrating higher and higher and higher. One of the quotes from my teacher, Rachel Fiore, is the only thing that matters is your vibrational frequency. Where are you vibrating at? Not where you think you're vibrating at or where you like to think that you are. No, where are you vibrating at for real? And I am now a student at our metaphysical school, but I'm also a coach. And when I see and witness the students that come through our school and the ones that really put work into themselves, the ones that are dedicated, willing, and devoted to show up every single day, to do what they need to do, to heal, to rise, to become, And in oneness, what we are creating is exactly what the prison planet and the parasitic entities that have governed this world for so long don't want us to do. They don't want us to wake up. That's why everything is designed so we stay asleep. We stay unconscious. We stay separated. Separation is an illusion, but we've mastered it. When you walk the path, you are dissolving separation because you are becoming a being of oneness. So, there's also a lot of people out there, who talk a lot about reptilians and the darkness that's happening. People think that you're awakened because you know that there are parasitic evil entities that are doing horrible, horrific things to children, to human beings, to animals. Yeah, we need to know that. But then what the fuck are you doing for yourself and in turn everybody when you know of these things? Because a true awakening being goes, I know about all this stuff, and it brings up powerlessness, fear, insecurity, anxiety, whatever it is that is unique to you, that you run, that emanates out of your beingness, that you consent to every day, that goes out into the collective. What are you doing about those energies? Because when you still run programs of fear, of powerlessness, of hopelessness, you are feeding the old earth and the patriarchy and the evil to exist. A true awakening being goes, oh, look at all of these energetic programs that I run when I see and witness the evil of this world. Now I connect to my heart, to my soul, to my divinity, and I alchemize and I transform all of these energies to create something new. Because when you do that over and over and over again, the old prison planet of patriarchy has nothing to feed off of anymore. A true awakening being learns how to alchemize all of it, learns how to bring their divine, enlightened frequencies, the truth of who they are, to all of that. And that's why a true awakening being is awakening to every single energy that you consent to, that you allow to put into the collective bank of darkness. I see it. I'm choosing to transform it, elevate out of it, to create the new earth. When we do this for real, that old earth has nothing to stand on. It will extinguish. But in the spiritual matrix, there are so many avenues to deter you, to take you away, to push you away for a reason. So that you don't ever actually wake up for real and do the work on yourself. So, I hope this video hits something deep within you. If you're somebody out there who's like, I'm ready to do the real work, mastersofselfuniversity.com. Thank you so much for being here. Till next time, I'll see you guys then. Bye.